this is Elise Arsenault, working actor, career coach, and founder of The Global Actor. This is episode 5, and the final episode in the Book a Co-Star series with John Cramer. This episode includes the benefits of self-producing, working with other partners, and John introduces us to the Pomodoro Technique and explains how it helps him in the pursuit of his work. If you've missed any of the previous 4 episodes, you could find them over at theglobalactor.com.
So you're a television actor, you're focused on booking a co-star. Again, I think it is all about relationships. And if you can work at a casting office, if you can intern at an agency, your chances of establishing and developing a relationship are just that much greater. If you can't do that, which I didn't, I focused on what seemed to be my best way to meet and get to know people, which were the workshops.
Great.
Obviously another route that I think this might be a segue that people can take these days is by making their own material. And I know that seems like a lot more work than going to workshops, and it is. But what better way that's their job. Casting directors want to know what actors look like and what they can do on screen. And if you can show them, then why wouldn't you try to take that opportunity?
Great. So what kind of work have you created on your own?
So far, I've focused mostly on web-based material.
Great.
I have shot one short film. And when I say this, I've been involved pretty much in writing, shooting, directing, producing, acting in. You kind of do everything when you do this stuff. And again, being a lifelong learner, somebody who loves to have new experiences and have new skills and adventures, that's been great for me. So my last kind of focus was on a web series pilot that a partner and I made, and our goal was to submit it to the New York Television Festival, which is another great way to meet people going to film festivals. And if you want to work in TV, the New York Television Festival, which happens in October every year in Manhattan, is a great way to meet people. If you can submit work to it and be accepted, that's even better. But there's lots of web series contests. And if you can make something and get it into one of these contests or festivals and you can attend, it's a great opportunity to meet other people that are doing the same thing and learn from them, collaborate with them in the future.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much. So it sounds like you've got so many things going on. How do you manage all of it?
Yeah, the life of an actor, I'll tell you, is very different from the life of a teacher. And one of the most obvious ways is the schedule. I went from a job where they told me exactly where and when I had to be every day, how much I'd be paid 30 years from now, to having absolutely no structure. It's couldn't be more radical, the difference. And so every day is a different day, but I've gotten to a place now where I have partners that I work with. I've been very lucky to meet several very positive, helpful people that can kind of join me on this journey, and we can help one another set goals and accomplish them. So I talk to one of these partners every day. I talk to one every week.
So accountability partner, would you consider them accountability partners in a way?
Sure, that's definitely an aspect of it. And I would probably say that's the primary aspect of the relationship. But somebody that's positive, unfortunately, another kind of fact of life for teachers is that you don't get to talk to other grown-ups very often. And when you do, it's easy to complain about things. So I found myself looking for positive-minded people when I was a teacher to talk to when I wasn't in the classroom. And the same has been true of acting. I find myself, it can be tough to find other people A lot of times audition waiting rooms, when people maybe are feeling a little competitive, aren't always the best place to make new friends. I've been lucky. I've made some great friends that way. But the other thing is, you find a lot of actors, it can be very challenging. And you'll hear people talking about how they didn't book that thing, or how they haven't booked for a while, or how they want this agent and they don't like their agent, and they don't like this and they don't like that. So I've been lucky to find 3 very positive people. And like I said, we talk daily, and that's mostly like, what are we doing today? What's on the list today? Okay, great, thanks, boom. It's a quick conversation. The weekly one is a little more involved. And again, that's looking at things at a week. And then sometimes we'll talk about a little bit longer term goals. And then obviously monthly, we'll talk for an hour every week. I'm sorry, every
month, setting your strategy for the month ahead.
And again, that's a little bit longer term. And it's just nice to kind of look at your world from those different levels. And with the help of these people, I think we kind of have also developed. There's one strategy of time management called the Pomodoro Technique, which we've all kind of adapted a little bit. But the Pomodoro Technique, it's Italian for tomato, and there's the kitchen timer that looks like a tomato. So the idea of the Pomodoro Technique is that you spend 20 minutes focused on one task. Maybe it's 25 minutes. You're not allowed to check your email, your phone, or do something different unless you finish this task that you set for yourself. And maybe it'll take more than one Pomodoro. Maybe it'll take longer than one 20-minute chunk. But at the end of the 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break, because we all know that sitting for too long, your brain shuts down, and you got to get up and move around. So after you do 4 of those Pomodoros, you can take a longer 15-minute break.
Great.
Now, if you look at what you have to do, instead of like, I've got 40 hours this week, or however you kind of divide up your time over the course of a week, now I've got these 25-minute chunks, and I do know about how much time over the week I want to spend on work. And then you can kind of think about, well, some of my time needs to be focused on marketing and business. Some of my time needs to be focused on my craft, classes, etc. I know that I'm writing and self-producing, so some of my time is focused on that. And so I can kind of see, again, what I want to do. What do I want to accomplish by the end of this month? Then you break it down by week, and then you break it down by day. And you kind of work backwards, and you know about how much time you have to do each of these things. So it's kind of more like puzzle pieces, and it's easier, because if you don't have the flexibility of when an audition comes up to just drop whatever that is and go to the audition, then it's hard to succeed as an actor. Unfortunately, you have to be just available always. So
that is great.
So that's kind of how I'm approaching it now.
I love it. Okay, great. So Pomodoro Technique, I love it. And in doing that in conjunction with other partners who are holding you to it.
Exactly.
It might not be as easy if it were just you trying to do it on your own.
It's, again, going back to sports, I always played team sports, and you have kind of the dual function of competition, people kind of egging you on a little bit, but also the idea that we're in it together. It's kind of that push and pull, and they're very helpful. I couldn't imagine what it must be like to be, completely solo.
Right.
Again, as a teacher, people, your classroom is going to wonder where you are if you don't show up at 7:30.
Yeah,
as an actor, nobody's calling to see where you are.
It's so interesting, because I feel as actors, we're social people generally, but we have to do so much of this on our own. We have to do our own marketing. We have to do our own audition prep. But I've noticed for me, having accountability is like the world of difference. Just having other people who are going through it with you. That's awesome.
I've heard of actors getting together to do postcard mailings, all sorts of reasons and ways that you can get together with other actors to share information. I definitely believe in sharing.
Totally.
I don't believe in hoarding my info and my goodies.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing today. This is really ultimate. It's really great. Thank you.
A lot of people have definitely been open and available and generous with me along the way, and I definitely would not be here without them.
That's great. Yeah. Thankful for generosity. So what's coming up for you that we can look out for?
Right. So the next thing, hopefully, that I will be seen in, because isn't that the first question that anybody asks? What can I see you in?
Well, you have something really cool, I know.
Yeah, no, it's a fun film called Norman, I believe. I don't think it's the whole title now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that, but it went kind of back. It used to be called Oppenheimer Strategies. Now it's called Norman.
Okay.
And Norman is played by Richard Gere. And the cast is just incredible. And I was fortunate enough to work a little bit with Richard Gere and Steve Buscemi and Dan Stevens. And that's like not even half the incredible cast that's in the film. And the director is Joseph Cedar. I'm really looking forward to seeing it. Should be coming out sometime this spring. And it's about this man, Richard Gere, Norman Oppenheimer, who is a struggling businessman in New York, but he's always scheming. He's always got these plans, and he befriends an Israeli politician who's visiting New York. And very quickly, that politician becomes a very important politician in Israel. And all of a sudden, Norman Oppenheimer has access to real power. And so he has an opportunity to execute one of his most ambitious schemes, which is, in terms of real present-day politics, kind of one of the holy grails of schemes. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do it. And I know that they have a lot of interesting visual things happening in the film too.
Cool.
So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
That's great. All right, we'll look out for you with that. And how can people connect to you or find you online?
I love Twitter. Again, I think for actors or anybody involved in this business, if you're not on Twitter, and I'm not saying that I'm skilled at the ability to access people and tell them how much you love the work that they're doing. Or offer encouragement is just you can't find anything like Twitter. So it's just at John Cramer.
Great.
Is my Twitter handle, Cramer with a C. And then on Facebook, I think it's John Cramer Actor.
Great.
The Facebook fan page, but I'm not as active on that.
Okay.
I'm definitely a scan Facebook and go look at Twitter kind of guy.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Elise.